We worked problem 80 on page 286 during class, and it was part of one of your homework assignments, but it looks like there may still be some confusion over how to do that. So let's take another look at how that problem works out. This is the one having to do with a car driving toward a mountain, and at the first observation, the mountaintop is 3.5 degrees above the elevation of the road. And then, after driving 13 miles, the second observation, the mountaintop is 9 degrees elevation above the road. And what we're looking for is the height of the mountain. Well, let's look at the triangles that we have here. First of all, we believe that the height represents a right angle from the distance to the height. We don't know what this hypotenuse is, and as it turns out, we don't care what the hypotenuse is. We can solve this problem without looking at the hypotenuse at all. So let's look at our first triangle. This observation makes a right triangle, but with that one, we don't know what the base is. It's 13, but there's also this value, x, that we don't know what it is. Now, our second triangle, this purple one, we know we're looking for the height, the base is x, and the observation is 9 degrees. So we can now write equations using the tangent function. We pick the tangent function because we know the opposites, we know the adjacents, so we can write tangent of 3.5 is opposite, which is h, over the entire base, which is 13 plus x. This entire distance across is the base, which is 13 plus x. Now for the purple triangle, the second one, it's tangent of 9 degrees. Opposite side is still h, but now the adjacent side is just x. So we've got two triangles, two equations, and we have two unknowns, h and x. Well, algebra should tell us that we ought to be able to solve two unknowns with two equations, and what we're really interested in is h, so we're going to solve for that. So let's go to another page and write down those two equations again. Tangent of h, or tangent of 9, let's try that again. Tangent of 9 is h over x. So if we solve that for what is x, we get x tangent 9 degrees is h, or x equals h over tangent of 9 degrees. Now let's write down the other equation. Tangent of 3.5 degrees is h over 13 plus x. And let's substitute what we just found for x into there. So that's h over 13 plus h over tangent of 9 degrees. So now then we've got one equation, the h unknown. We just have to manipulate that to solve for h. So let's see if we can do that with our algebra skills. So tangent of 3.5 is equal to h over 13 plus h over tangent of 9. multiply the entire denominator to the other side, we get 13 plus h over tangent of 9 times tangent of 3.5 is equal to h. Distribute the tangent of 3.5 through, we get tangent of 3.5 degrees times 13 plus h over tangent 9 times tangent 3.5 is h. So we can collect our h's by subtracting this term from both sides, and we get tangent 3.5 times 13 is equal to h minus h tangent 3.5 over tangent of 9. Okay, so we're getting close. Just about got it. So we have tangent of 3.5 times 13. We're going to factor out that h and get 1 minus tangent of 3.5 over tangent of 9. Parentheses don't want to go there. So now we can divide both sides by this, and we're left with h on its own. So h is tangent of 3.5 times 13 divided by 1 minus tangent 3.5 over tangent of 9. Now, have to be sure that your calculator is in degrees. If your calculator is in radians, you'll get nonsense. You also have to be really careful with the parentheses in the denominator, because if your denominator is not exactly that, you won't get the answer of about 1.29 miles. Okay? Now, be sure that you compare this problem back to problem 77. They're similar, and they're problems that you're going to want to be able to do for tests and quizzes. Okay? So again, that's problem 80 on page 286.